Yes, they're as a coach or a mentor or whatever, you are to student athletes, keeping them in top physical shape is somewhat part of your job. But a fat test? I just don't think that's right at all.
And they're accusing him of other
Well,
nefarious
right,
stuff. So
right.
not good stuff.
No,
So.
no.
All right, so we have those things that are still going on, and I don't know if you're following this. It's happening across the country. If you go to this movie in the theaters called A Minecraft Movie, this movie is based on a video game. That seems to be the new thing now. I just heard that yesterday. Superhero movies are starting to go down. No more Batman, Spider-Man movies. Good. But now movies made from video games are coming up. And so this one, a Minecraft movie, is turning basically into another Rocky Horror Picture Show where you yell out things and you throw things at certain points in the movie. So anyway, this happened down in Warwick at the Apple Cinema. There was a fight in the parking lot after the movie, and 4 teenagers were arrested, stabbing some adults that they went to this movie because the adults were telling the kids to keep quiet during the movie. Kids don't like being told to keep quiet, and so they got into a fight out in the parking lot. So the juveniles will be processed through family court. The stabbing victims are expected to be okay.
Kids don't want to listen to anything. I mean, seriously, it's just getting more and more out of hand. I saw a video yesterday here locally where a gentleman that runs the bike path, there were, I don't know how many kids on bikes, anywhere from, say, 6 to 10, that were on both lanes, and you're not supposed to. There's a right and a left, and there's a walking, biking, etc. And he politely asked, "Excuse me," so he could run through.
Yeah.
And the kids just ended up being rude, ignorant, obnoxious, and then ended up following the guy for 2 miles.
Wow.
I mean, come on.
I've seen that on bike paths and other places too. Hate to put the women in this in the bad light
feel
here.
free, because I just jump right in and either dispute or agree.
All right, because normally, when 2 women are walking along, they walk side by side.
Yeah.
And they never want to move because they're talking. Men go that. I'm making a very big generalization here. When men are walking, they'll walk side by side and still until an obstacle comes up like this, and then they'll walk in a line.
Right.
Women hate to move out of the line, move out of
Which
where they are.
Which is ridiculous too.
And
so I agree.
I've heard stuff like that. I'll be on my bike, and I come by, and I learned this from when I skiing. When you're about 20 feet from them, you just say, on your left or on your right, and I've said on your left, and they've said back to me, we're not moving. Oh, okay. I still had plenty of room to go around them. Mm-hmm. I'm just letting you know I'm coming by.
Right, because you don't know what they're going to do as they're skiing. I mean, like I go, when I skied recently, you're going side to side, you're moving a little bit. And personally, like they say that the person in front of you is the person you need to watch. Well, if I'm going to be moving, it's almost like little side view mirrors, just making sure. So I glance over my shoulder, not look behind me, but kind of, I have a good peripheral vision, so I can see what's coming. But it's just respect.
It is.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's respect.
And it was tough, it's always tough dealing out there. I was in another situation here in the city, and I'm sure it's happened to both of you as well, where you get out of your vehicle, you walk into a certain business establishment, and someone comes up and asking for money. Has it happened to you?
It has, not as frequently as one would think.
Okay.
But it has. But I just, you know what? I'm not making eye contact with you. I'm not giving you money.
Yeah.
Because I'll do my donations through the proper sources.
What about you, Bob? Has that happened to you at any point?
My wife and daughter advised me to follow Sue's philosophy. I usually give them money.
But Sue doesn't give them money.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
But you do.
Yes.
So no, his wife and daughter advised to do what Sue says,
Yes.
and he chooses to give them money.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I was taken once. I was in Providence on Broadway, and I had the Attorney General in my car.
Whoa.
And he was in the restaurant, and this gentleman came over to me in the parking lot, and it suited up and everything. Okay, he was in a suit. It could have been Bob walking over and asking for money. And he was like, God, my office building, I locked my keys out of the car, I got to do it. You know, I just need $5 to do whatever. And I gave it to him. And that guy tried to get me a second time, and I let him have it. Another day, another
Yeah.
place, still in Providence, I let
was
him
the
have
same
it.
guy?
It was
Yeah.
the same guy. Still suited up,
Yeah.
I kid you not, thinking that he had, better chances, obviously,
Well,
of
maybe
getting money,
you're
which
right.
he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not one to give money. I will, if somebody literally says to me, I'm really hungry. I'm at McDonald's, will say, I'm really hungry. Could you buy me a burger? I would do it in a heartbeat.
But they never say that.
Exactly. Which is why I won't do
Right,
it.
okay.
If you legit say, I'm really hungry, can you buy me a burger? I would,
Okay, let's go get a burger.
I'd get him a meal.
Yeah. All
I
right.
mean, no doubt, but not the money, because I don't know where that money's going.
All right.
What was the reaction of the Attorney General when he was with you?
They were going to a restaurant. It was Joe O'Donnell. It wasn't Attorney General. Right after
sorry.
I said it, Lieutenant Governor.
Okay.
Joe O'Donnell was Lieutenant Governor.
What was his reaction when the individual?
He wasn't there.
Oh,
he was inside the restaurant
Oh,
with
okay.
the
I
group
thought he was in
having
the car
dinner.
with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, when this happened yesterday, and when I didn't do what you did, we did have eye contact, and but I always worry because I'm going to say no. What is their reaction going to be? Are they going to get hostile? Are they going to get violent? I'm always concerned about
Well, if
that.
they get hostile
This
with
one
me, they have
didn't.
no idea what they're getting into.
Well, you just
saying.
you just never know what.
And you're
what they're
right,
gonna
and
do.
that is a consideration.
Yeah.
You do
So I'm
think
always
of
trying
that.
to be far, a good 20
Yeah.
feet away before I say no.
Yeah.
And I keep moving, and I'm no stopping.
No, right. Nowadays especially, I mean, look at the reaction of kids at a movie and then kids on a bike path. You always do have to be, consider the possible reaction. But at
Right.
the same time, now think of it this way. So you, Bob, open up your wallet and you pull out a couple of dollars.
Are they going to grab the
You
wallet?
now, right.
You're showing them how
you
much money you
now
have.
your wallet in your hand, giving them easier access to take the whole thing.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of factors to consider
Sue's
when
right.
trying to be kind. Of course
And
I
s-
am,
and so
Bob.
am my
As
wife
is
and
your
daughter.
wife.
Ganging up on me. Okay. I'll have to rethink this.
I think
Right?
the only time I think I've done it, it was because there was a man, this Central Falls. I was on the Pawtucket Central Falls line. He was outside of Cumberland Farms, just sitting on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
He wasn't asking for money, but you could tell he was looking. I don't know, the cup was out, but he didn't ask you as he walked by. And I just went
yep.
up and gave him $5, and he just said, "Thank you very much. I can
Yep.
I can now eat something today." And he said, "Thank you," and I just walked away.
But that's different, though. They didn't put you in a
was-
position.
that's right.
There is
You're
an
right.
individual in the city. I've mentioned this individual before. I don't know if it's his wife, girlfriend, sister. I don't know. But she's in a wheelchair, and this poor guy, young guy, has been pushing that wheelchair, which is only a transport chair, through the city, through the snow, through the ice, the wind, the rain, the cold, you name it. I see him. He comes by my house, and I've stopped to chat with him for a minute, never asked me for a thing. Idiot me, after he left, I said I should have, but it didn't dawn on me because we're just having conversation, trying to help him with resources that may be of help to him and her. And then, I don't know, a couple weeks later, I'm driving down Winter Street, and there he is, and it had snowed, and it was cold. And I pulled over, and of course, I couldn't get him in my car because I had wheelchair, et cetera, in my car, so I couldn't fit them in my car. But I pulled over. I gave Ron $5. I said, give him that. And the guy didn't want to take it.
No.
He took it. I insisted upon it, but he didn't want to take. That wasn't what he was out for. He wasn't out to beg for money, ask for this, ask for that, and which makes me, think about him all the time because he simply wants help and resources. He's not looking to beg, borrow, and steal to get things, and we insisted that he take the money. It was only $5. But you know what? He can get a sandwich. He can get,
Right.
so it's hard. But you have to use your gut, use your intuition.
After the commercial, I'll tell you the story about my brother-in-law.
Okay, very good. We did get one note that was called in, 766-1240. Just talking about what happened in Cranston with the teenagers attacking the adults is just appalling.
Yes,
I agree.
it is.
Yes,
agree.
it is.
We all agree with you,
We all
caller.
agree on that one. All right, more coffee ants coming your way. Stay tuned.
Hi, this is Steve Peluso, owner of Peluso Precision Automotive in Mendon. Since 2017, Peluso Precision Automotive has been your destination for auto care, transmissions, and general classic car repair. I've had a passion for classic cars since I was born, and I started hanging around a gas station when I was 7 years old. Plus, I have more than 40 years of experience repairing the classics. So if you have a 53 Bel Air or a 67 Mustang or a 71 Dodge and it needs servicing, bring it to Peluso Precision Automotive, 93 Blackstone Street in Mendon. Peluso Precision Automotive is your vintage car specialist, so give us a call at 508-478-8900. And remember the number, it's 508-478-8900.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-230-2777. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-230-2777. That's 800-230-2777 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. 800-230-2777.
The Coffee Ant Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
Have you heard of Scott McGee with Remax Properties? He's been selling real estate in Rhode Island and Massachusetts for the last 17 years, and you can see that he loves what he does. Scott, as well as his team, take pride in what they call the fair and honest team. No gimmicks. And no, they're not buying your house if it doesn't sell, etc. Just fair and honest real estate. Scott personally works with tons of sellers and buyers and specializes in residential properties as well as commercial, and he's always very fair and offers super competitive rates. Remember, this is probably the biggest move in dollars that you will ever spend or receive. You want to go with a trusted and experienced agent. Scott is fair, honest, and modest, always puts the clients first. And he also dealt with literally almost any situation. You really need to look at your real estate needs as a business. You want to pay and get the right money now so that you're not paying for it later. Trust me. So why not give Scott McGee a call at 401-639-2906. That's 401-639-2906.
ON, AM, and FM.
Welcome back to Coffee Ant. This is Joe Callahan here with Sue Tesser McKenzie and Bob Lauder. And Sue, it's time for our first message from the Blackstone Valley Call-in Times.
I love when these, messages are thrown at me. I know they're coming. So it has been we'll just call it a challenging week and a half
Okay.
since we went to mail. Some people have been pleasantly surprised that they're getting the day's paper on the same day. The issue has been if you're accustomed to getting your paper at 8 o'clock in the morning through the carrier and you're now only getting your mail at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I can't fix that. I can't help that. So some people have chosen to get their newspaper from a local convenience store at the hour that they want their paper and cancel the delivery. We've had many problems, especially in the outskirts of towns, Cumberland, Lincoln, North Smithfield, Blackstone, Bellingham, just to name the main ones. But yeah, give me a call if you are still having a problem. I just reach out to the circulation department, make them aware of it. But my understanding, I haven't gotten phone calls in 2 days. So there's a plus. But yeah, if you are having a problem, by all means, reach out to me at 487-4136, and that's area code 401.
All right. Now, okay, Bob. So what's your brother-in-law story?
The brother-in-law story. My brother-in-law, Lou, who lives down in Cranston, and he's a few years younger than me, but, getting on, likes to go walking every day for exercise to, keep himself in shape. He's walking through a CVS parking lot one day. A woman comes up and stuffs $2 into his hand. She thinks he's homeless.
Oh, really? Oh, my gosh.
Christmas time, everybody in the family gives him tin cups.
But why would she think that? Was it what he was wearing?
I would imagine it was his entire appearance at that time. When he went out for his walk, he didn't dress to the highest of style.
He might have been working in the yard, so he might, and just decided to go take a walk. I mean,
his attire probably gave the appearance that
that is so funny.
He wasn't exactly living in the best of conditions.
Did he keep the $2?
He gave it back to her.
He did?
Yeah.
I don't need this.
That's
just the
funny.
same. To have the woman think you, be kind enough to think you're a poor homeless guy and you need some help, and here's $2 to help you along your way. Lou, come on, you really got to dress a little bit more.
Gosh,
You at least wear clean clothes. But it's funny that you're saying that, because trying to or asking an individual, like you think they might need help,
Right.
it's like asking a woman if she's pregnant, because it turns into an insult. Like, you look homeless or you look pregnant, one or the other.
Yeah. So how far along are you?
You gotta watch yourself.
I don't think Lou was insulted by this. I think he saw
he laughed at
Well,
it.
that's
Okay.
comical. I think that's funny.
He came home and told the family, okay, I look sort of homeless.
So now he's got tin cups in case.
He's got tin cups just in case he wants to broaden his financial basis.
Okay, that is so funny. All right, good story there, Bob. Too bad for Lou, though. All right.
That's funny.
So since they can't give us any information, it's all speculation. What do you think's going on with the Pawtucket Fire Department?
I don't know. I thought they were supposed to give info last night
You know what's
on
going
the
on,
news
Bob?
at
I have
11.
no idea what you're talking about.
Eight firefighters have left the department. 4 have retired. 4 have been fired. I believe.
Right. And the
4
four,
got fired.
the 4 that retired, based on what I thought I heard, was they were given the option
Yes.
of retiring
Or we're gonna
or
fire you.
right. So I don't know what's going on.
According to the Attorney General, there's criminal activity going on, and that's all they're saying. And it only involves these 8
Yeah.
that now have been let go. But no one's saying what the real problem is yet, until charges are brought forward, and then we'll all know. But
Oh, look at the one in Boston. The police. I don't know if you heard that.
Which one?
They're police officers that are supposed to be in charge of. Oh my God! I read it yesterday. Like kids. What do they call that when they kidnap the kids to send them elsewhere?
trafficking.
Trafficking.
Yeah.
Involved in trafficking, and their
The
job.
cops are in it. Wow.
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear that.
I'll pull it up.
Wow.
Trafficking.
Okay.
I couldn't think of that one word. Trafficking.
So the city of Pawtucket has come out and said that the public was never unsafe. They always responded to whatever calls they needed to respond to, and everything was fine. But it's the term of criminal activity going on with the firefighters. These 8, and they won't tell you who the 8 are either.
I hadn't
HIPAA
read anything
rules.
about that. I have no knowledge. I
Okay.
can't speculate. No,
Just makes you wonder what the criminal activity could possibly be.
I do not know.
All right, all right. So, Bob, let me. I'll have to ask you this: Do I have a case here,
Oh, great.
or if statute of limitations has run out? The state of Massachusetts. I know you don't, and you don't operate in Massachusetts, but the state of Massachusetts has fined the operators of 88 fast food restaurants for child labor violations. All right. Massachusetts Attorney General Andrea Campbell said violations were at Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's, and Subway locations. The AG's office said operators did not get work permits before hiring underage workers and also let them work past the 9-hour limit mandated by the state. The fines total over $226,000. So
Okay.
that is a rule if you're gonna work in Massachusetts and you're in high school.
Right.
You have to go to your guidance. I know I kind of did it with my kids. They have to go to the guidance office and you get the form. It's the work permit form, I guess. And the kid fills it out. A guidance person fills it out, and you have to present it to your employer. That says, yes, I get the permission to work from the school.
Okay.
And you can't start unless you.
DeSantis is suggesting down in Florida.
What's he
right?
suggesting?
He's suggesting lowering the minimum age from 16 to 14 so that they will have more
workers
to fill in for some of the jobs that he is
They've done that in
results of the ICE deportations of aliens.
They've done that in Massachusetts. I don't know if they're still doing it, but fast food workers could be 14 years old. They still have to get the same permits and like that, but their restrictions were incredible. Only work 3 hours a day. They could not. I know this from fast food. They couldn't handle anything sharp, so they couldn't pick up a knife of any kind. The fast food places have walk-in freezers. The 14 and 50-year-olds can't go into the walk-in freezer because they might get
trapped.
They might, yeah, but there's a latch on the inside. All you got to do is push on it to get out. Anyway, but they have a lot of that. So all they really could do was ring the cash register. Is basically what they could do. I don't think they could prepare any food. But anyway, but here's my case.
All right.
So I was 17 years old, working for Burger King in Massachusetts, and at the time, as your hours fluctuated around, I ended up being part of the closing team on the weekends, and my shift would start at 9:00 at night, and end at 2. And the restaurant closed at 2 in the morning, which I hated, by the way, because we were the only ones that were open. And there was a Taco Bell and a McDonald's and everything else nearby, and they closed at like 11, and we stayed open for another 3 hours. So anybody drunk,
Of course.
we were the only ones available. Anyway, but so I worked from 9 to 2. It was a 5-hour shift, so they didn't have to give me a half-hour break. And but they paid us until 2:30 because we had to clean up after the fact. Well, I was always there till like 3 in the morning, cleaning things up because we couldn't get it finished in a half an hour's time, and I never got paid for the extra like half hour or 45 minutes. That was stage. They only paid us to 2:30. Yet
I
we all
just saw a
stayed
meme about that.
I know, and I'm like, and this was okay. We're going back to the 1980s. I'm sure the statute of limitations has run out. I've really got no case against them now, right?
I think the statute of limitations ran out about 25 to 30
I was
years
just
ago.
gonna say.
Darn it. But just being young and stupid, and well, everyone else was staying.
And I just
why
saw-
aren't we going home?
Now, out of those two categories, young or stupid, which one do you think has the most likelihood of prevailing?
I think it's a combined. I'm putting both in.
You're putting both.
I'm going
Okay,
with both.
Okay. I won't.
You know, like a 60% stupid, 40% young, that kind of thing.
Okay.
I would go with the percent. Sorry, Joe.
But
I'm not saying you're stupid.
I remember
Don't get me
thinking-
wrong. No.
Oh, darn.
But I remember thinking at the time, I'm not getting paid. I'm still here. Why am I doing this?
Why am I doing this?
is
Yes.
this is not right. But
That's why they did it.
I know because they got away with it. So in my so I have no case.
You
Special
can
limitations
talk to an
gone.
attorney in Massachusetts. You may be able to join some kind of class action.
I think they laugh at me.
Probably.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program. So more coming your way, but soon time for a second message from the Blackstone Valley Call-in-Times.
Okay, so today kicked off our Mother's Day contest, realizing that Easter is only Sunday, but Mother's Day is a contest that did kick off today. Go to www.woonsocketcall.com to enter to win. Prizes are an overnight at Foxwoods. And you have a choice. The two next winners have a choice of gift certificates from any of the sponsors listed on the page and listed on the website. We've got some great sponsors, and then we go out and we get those gift certificates for you. So again, it's www.woonshockeycall.com. If you're having difficulties with it, just give me a call at 487-4136.
All right, time for the weather forecast being brought to you by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation.
Sunny skies today with a high near 57 and a breeze in the west. Tonight, mostly clear skies, a low around 32 degrees. Friday, increasingly cloudy all day with a high near 64. Friday night, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 50. Saturday, partly sunny skies and a high of 75, and that chance of rain has been erased from the forecast. Sunday, mostly sunny with a high of 64 for Easter Day. Monday, mostly sunny skies, high of 59. Tuesday, a 40% chance of showers, partial sunshine, high of 61. And next Wednesday, mostly sunny and 67.
Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, sunny skies and 47 degrees. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org. The latest Buick and GMC models are available at Tasca Buick GMC in Woonsocket. Buick Encore, Envision, Enclave, and Envista are on the lot waiting for you to take one for a test drive. New GMC crossovers, SUVs, as well as trucks and vans are also available. Thinking of a pre-owned vehicle? Tasca Buick GMC has more than 900 in stock, many under $15,000. Visit online, TascaBuickGMC.com, or stop into 55 Fortin Drive, Woonsocket. Tasca Buick GMC, you will be satisfied. And remember, there are no tariffs on the vehicles in stock at Tasca Buick GMC.
Entertainment this weekend at Chan's. It'll be a really good Friday with the Bruce Mattson Band tomorrow night. Of course, Hammond B3 master Bruce Mattson's a former member of the Greg Allman Band, brings its signature Crescent City swagger for the night of swampy New Orleans funky R&B, jazz, and blues to Main Street in Woonsocket. $15 in advance, $20 at the door. That's Bruce Mattson. And then Chris Kane on Saturday night at Chan's at 8 o'clock. An incredible blues guitar master with maturity of Bobby Bland and B.B. King, a soulful singer and a brilliant composer, not to be missed. $35 in advance, $40 at the door at Chan's, 267 Main Street in Woonsocket. And oh, by the way, they got great food there, too, at Chan's.
Hey, it's Cruz and Bruce from ON Radio. And what are people saying about my Saturday block party every weekend? Well, let's ask.
Hey, Bruce, big fans, Bobby and Jane. We try to call as much as possible from Cumberland.
I think you're wonderful. I love you. You're awesome.
God bless you. I really enjoy the show.
Hey, Bruce, this is Wendy. Thank you for all your great music.
You have a wonderful evening, and again, enjoying the show.
Hey, thank you very much. Make it a point to join me every Saturday from 4 to 7 p.m. on the one and only ON Radio.
Really make our weekends. I love it.
You're a legend.
Well, let's not go overboard.
It is Coffee Ann here on ON. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Sue Tester McKenzie and Bob Lauder. And Bob, time for a first message from your law office, please.
Thank you. Good morning. This is Attorney Bob Lauder. I'd like to talk with you this morning about two recent Rhode Island Supreme Court cases. The first involves charges arising as a result of a road rage incident. That's the kind of confrontation which is becoming far more common. And the case is known as the State versus Estill. On an evening of Halloween in 2020, the defendant was driving his vehicle along Lonsdale Avenue in Pawtucket. A vehicle occupied by several people known to the defendant passed him, with the occupants making gestures out of the vehicle indicating that they were carrying weapons. At a traffic light on Lonsdale Avenue, the other vehicle stopped in front of the defendant's vehicle, and the occupants exited their vehicle and approached the defendant. The occupants made gestures of carrying weapons, and the defendant reached into a duffel bag, brought out a handgun, and fired through the passenger window, killing one of the other people. The defendant was charged with and found guilty of second-degree murder. That is, an assault which isn't premeditated, but is intended to result in harm rather than death. The defendant filed an appeal, claiming that the trial justice erred in failing to instruct the jury about a lesser-included offense of voluntary manslaughter. That's killing an individual during a heat of passion other than circumstances which would cause a reasonable person to become emotionally or mentally disturbed to the point that they cannot reasonably control their emotions, death resulting. In the decision, the state Supreme Court, after reviewing the testimony brought before the trial court, determined that the trial court judge committed reversible error by not instructing the jury on the manslaughter charge as well as the second-degree murder, as there was sufficient evidence to support such a charge. The Supreme Court also held the decision of the trial justice to exclude testimony offered by the grandfather defendant that prior to the trial, the injured party had offered to kill the defendant, and it was relevant to the defendant's state of mind at the time of the case. The case was remanded back to the Superior Court for a new trial. If you'd like to discuss legal matters with me, please contact my office for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder, and my telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer: the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
All right, Bob, thanks. And so, busy weekend coming up. We get the ON Radio Senior Resource Fair. Bob will be there answering questions.
It's funny you're saying that because I thought it was this past weekend. I'm like,
No, you didn't miss it.
okay, there's still time.
There is still time. 9 to 12 at the Elks Club.
And you
this
don't
coming
have
Saturday.
to be a senior to go.
No, you don't. We've had kids there before.
I guess
But
you do have to be a senior to participate, though. And don't say anything about...
No.
There's only one senior participating
Because
over in the corner. Okay.
But, so, we have Scott McGee coming, and he usually brings, like, his golf clubs or some kind of
Something fun.
fun to play. So, yeah.
Oh, great.
No, I
Kids-
like going
kids
to
love
those
that.
things. You never know what, what, I mean, again, with my husband, which is disabled, and, he falls into the category. Not that we've gotten any help, assistance, resources, or anything of the sort as of yet. But we do go. You never know what's out there.
And the governor is planning on showing up.
Oh, yeah, that's
Now,
right.
what
You
time,
said that.
I don't know. But they
Gonna
reached
give-
back out to us and said, yes, he's definitely going to come.
I'll give you my cell phone. You can
great.
shoot me a text when you know.
He's here. And then on, of course, Sunday is Easter. And then on Monday, Patriots Day in Massachusetts. It's also the Boston Marathon Day.
Yep.
On Monday, the 129th Boston Marathon will
Wow.
be taking place. I'm holding out. I will not be running again this year.
Have you ever run in the Boston Marathon?
No. 59 years in a row.
Oh,
I've
okay.
missed it. No.
I drove it.
You know how long it is? Yeah. From
They
Hopkins
did
to
with the
Boston?
with the limos. We had to bring all
Oh,
the
okay.
dignitaries from point A to point B.
Oh, okay.
So we got all the clearance and everything
Yeah.
for.
After they close off all the roads,
Yep.
okay, let that one through, though.
Yep.
Well, that's
Yep.
pretty cool. So.
We had the passes and whatnot, so it was pretty cool.
I thought you could take the Rosie Ruiz route.
I was thinking of doing that, taking the subway. We talked about that yesterday at Coffee Inn. 'Cause,
Somebody did that. What? That's,
yes.
that's
Rosie
right.
Ruiz.
The
She
Rosie.
took the subway. And we were talking about how it wasn't that long ago, women couldn't run in the Boston Marathon.
Right.
It was just an all-male event.
Wow, I didn't know
And
that.
there's a very famous picture taken in the early 70s where a woman is running in it, and there's a Boston Marathon official running after her, trying to grab her and get her out of the race. Of course, he couldn't catch her because she was so
Right.
fast. But it was he's so angry, he's so livid that a woman is running in the race, and that's not that long ago. Early
No, when you
70s.
say
No, it's not.
70s, that really isn't that long ago.
and there's never they can never give a good reason other than, well, that's the way it's always been. It's just a male race for so many years, and women said, well, we can run it too, and they didn't want it to be.
Well,
But
back
now
in
it's
1898, when they were starting, 130 years ago, that's, not many women participated
Well, they probably didn't.
in
Well, yeah,
athletics
back then. But,
yeah, but you would think, especially coming up through the 60s and all the changes that were going on, they would say, sure, let them in.
well, but that's also the case with all of these. No, I'm not meaning any disrespect by any civic organization when I say a name. Please understand that. But like all these, the Elks and all of those places were always just men.
Just men, yeah.
Now, my personal opinion of that is let them have it. Start your own. Do you really want to hang around with men, or would you rather be part of the Elks in a women's organization, which they now have?
Right.
But I don't know. I just think that everybody, that's your downtime, I mean, let's face it. But not when it comes to the athletic part of it.
Well, right.
That just doesn't make sense.
It just, I'm make another generalization, Sue. It just drives some women crazy that men are allowed to go here and have a good time without them.
And one,
some way- it
you
drives women
are
crazy.
definitely correct at that. But those same women want to go have fun without the men.
Yes, they do. That's okay.
So
That's
yeah,
okay.
no, it works both ways.
I don't think I'm going to agree with the other part of that. I think that it's.
That
I
means your
would think
wife
that-
is listening.
It's a generalization, Bob. It's
Okay.
not
Yeah, it's-
everybody,
it's
but
general.
that's what I've noticed.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I have
I
too
would think
as a
that
woman.
these organizations should be open to both sexes. I don't think they should be
Okay.
necessarily segregated that way.
Well, it's not about being segregated. It's about, in my opinion, I don't want to be sitting in a room with a bunch of men that are talking about golf, football, hockey, baseball, anything of the
smoking
sort.
cigars.
When in fact, I might want to be sitting having a glass of wine while getting a pedicure. I mean, and and I'm just saying that.
Wait a minute. I
think,
come to this station once a week. There's a guy across from me who's talking about sports all the time. Could probably be smoking cigars.
could be.
no, no.
I
Sitting
just,
on-
I
I
just
still
think
wanna come.
everybody's
I wanna be
entitled to
here.
their own
Okay.
space.
Do you remember the business that they had a space in North Smithfield for a little while, and I think they went out of business, called Curves. And,
Yes,
and
yes.
all it was a place for women to go work out, women only,
Okay. I don't
no men
recall that.
allowed. Yes, and there was a
Yes.
franchise. They were around the country.
Yeah.
Okay, but I walked in. I walked into the Curves place one time, for business purposes.
Yep.
And you should have heard just silence. And I'm getting stared at. A man has walked in. Everything stopped. It was weird.
Well, I understand that as a woman. I understand that part of it because women were joining those kind of places because they were not comfortable going to a Planet
Yeah,
Fitness
and
gym.
being around other men.
Right. They
Okay.
weren't comfortable. They weren't comfortable whether it's in their own
But boy,
physical appearance.
if you try to start a gym that says for men only,
Oh, they'd be all
you,
over
you,
it.
you can't
But
do
that's today is completely different than when these elks and all these organizations
yeah.
started. So what I'm saying is back then, those were the things. When it comes to a sporting event, whether it's an event or a gym or whatever, women are just as capable as men are with participating in those type of events. I am referring to the individual. You got these clubs, and the men get together, chit chat, but I used to drive bachelor parties and bachelorette parties. Okay, the bachelorette parties, nobody ever bothered. The spouses, the future spouse, the guys never got involved. The women went and did their thing. But I'll tell you what, when it came to the bachelor parties, those women wanted to know exactly where they
Where
went, what
going.
they would do. Oh yeah.
what time they were with this
So
place.
it's so even that, there's always that thing that
Okay. All right, Bob, before we get to your last message, I know you got to go. I know this business, this used to be the rule. I think it still is, but I'm not positive because it's been so long. The Foxy Lady in Providence had a rule that women could go into the club, but only if they were accompanied by a man. Is that discrimination? They've never been called on it. There's never been any lawsuit filed against them because of it, but that was a rule
Was
that they
it
had.
really?
No women were not allowed in unless they were accompanied by a man, unless they worked there, of course. But if they were coming in as a customer, only had to be with a guy. Is that discrimination?
I would have to look that up, but I would think, in a general sense, that if you were running a public establishment that has a liquor license,
Yeah.
then there's probably rules in getting your liquor license that you cannot discriminate against a particular sex. And I think that might be something that a case could be brought against. I'd have to research it and tell you better than a guess answer.
Okay. Bob's going to get going, so he's got to get to court. So let's get your second message, Bob, and then we can send you on your way.
Thank you. Good morning. This is Attorney Bob Lauder. The second recent Rhode Island Supreme Court case I'd like to discuss with you this morning involves a residential eviction action, and the case is known as Redgate Motel versus Albanese. Miss Albanese was a tenant in real estate owned by the plaintiff. The plaintiff sent to the tenant an eviction notice telling her to vacate the apartment by August 1st. The tenant did not vacate the apartment, but sent her rent for the month of August to the plaintiff. The plaintiff did not cash the check, but returned it to the defendant. At a trial, the district court ruled in favor of the plaintiff, and the defendant took an appeal to the Superior Court. The trial in the Superior Court lasted 5 days. The tenant argued that the plaintiff accepted her rent without proper notice. On the final day of the trial, the tenant was absent from court due to a medical emergency. The Superior Court ruled in favor of the plaintiff landlord, and the defendant took an appeal to the state Supreme Court. The Supreme Court noted that the tenant failed to provide to the Supreme Court a complete transcript of the lower court proceedings, which limited the review available to the court. The Supreme Court ruled that the decision of the trial court, that is the Superior Court, included that the court's decision to deny the plaintiff's motion to vacate was based on the tenant's purposeful delay tactics, and the trial court had provided to the tenant fair opportunity to present her case. The trial justice had not overlooked or misconceived material evidence, and the refusal of the plaintiff to accept the proffered rent for the date after the date of termination of the tenancy did not establish a continuation of the tenancy. If you'd like to discuss legal matters with me, please call my office for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer. The Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
All right, Bob, thanks, and good luck in court today.
Thank you.
We'll see you next Thursday, okay?
Yes.
And, actually, see you on Saturday at the Senior Resource Fair.
You're coming?
Oh, I'll be there.
Okay, and you're not a senior? Whoa, this
Not
is
yet,
good news.
anyway.
You're actually enticing the young guys in.
Bring some Tootsie Rolls, okay?
Good.
All right, more coffee hands coming up. Stay tuned.
Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogies with onions and what they call dirty sour cream. Or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported foods. Open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 9 in the morning till 6 p.m., Wednesdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays from 8 to 5 p.m. It's Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse. Follow us on Facebook and learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street, Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
It's time for the 15th annual Breakfast with the Saints at the St. Anarton Cultural Center on Sunday, April 27th from 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Enjoy a delicious breakfast buffet under the center's magnificent frescoes. Tickets are $20 in advance or $25 at the door and are available at Belo's Flowers, Creative Impressions, The Honey Shop, Pine Swamp Place, Timeless Antiques, Vaux's True Value Hardware. Visit the St. Anarton Cultural Center website, or to reserve a table, call 401-486-9380.
You can depend on us for public service, ON Radio.
All right, it's Coffee and on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. It's Joe and Sue Tester McKenzie as well. Bob had to go. He's off to court today. And so up in Massachusetts, that man from Weymouth, Massachusetts, who was accused of vandalizing a Tesla Cybertruck in Hingham, Mass, ran his keys along the side of the Tesla. He was arraigned yesterday in district court. Looks like he pled not guilty. 20-year-old Brendan Mullen allegedly used a key to scratch the side of the Tesla. It was parked at a charging station. And he is due back in court in May 16th to see where things go from there.
So by these people vandalizing a Tesla, what are they looking to gain? I mean, I get it.
I really don't know.
I get it, but dude, He doesn't own the car.
I know you're not hurting Elon in any way.
Right. So that's not rational thinking, if you ask me.
It's just it's showing. It's weird because if you bought a Tesla like 5 years ago, you were a hero. And
right.
These could be the same people that still have the same Tesla.
Right.
And now you're the bad guy.
And you did nothing.
And you didn't do
know.
anything.
I mean,
Yeah.
is it because they look at it as supporting?
It's showing my
maybe
disrespect or my disgust with Elon. I'm going to wreck his car.
Which is so
That's
stupid.
not even owned by him anymore. Some people have taken it a step further. They're actually going to dealerships, and they're like not only wrecking cars, they're wrecking the dealership. They're spray painting the dealership. So that could hurt Elon a little bit as well. But I'm like, wow. So that's what's going on right there.
Lack
up
of
in
rational
Massachusetts.
thinking.
I know and I've seen videos and they're asking them, the people that are vandalizing them, and they say this is perfectly okay. This is a First Amendment right, and that's the defense they're using. This is my First Amendment right to vandalize. Yes, because I'm not. I love this. We're not hurting anybody. I haven't attacked you personally. I haven't knocked you to the ground. I haven't hit you over the head with anything. I'm attacking an inanimate object.
That's going to ultimately cost me money to repair. Nitwit.
Yes.
Oh.
But you're not. I haven't said.
I almost said a different word, so just so you know,
right.
Nitwit popped up.
Well, that's good. I haven't sent you to the hospital, Sue. So I'm okay. I'm in my First Amendment rights to do this.
And what happens if those individuals catch you doing this and are now defending their property?
Well,
that's bound to happen.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. And now you're getting chased with a baseball bat,
or worse,
which may happen. Yeah. Well, it's turning into a three-ring circus out in California with the Menendez brothers. In their hearing, now there's limited and ticketed public courtroom seating.
Oh my God.
I don't know if they're selling tickets for this, but they expect a large crowd to come out for this. So there's a limited and ticketed public courtroom seating available for the Menendez brothers' resentencing hearing. The hearing will be held today for one of them and tomorrow for the other one. We're not sure which one goes first. Members of the public who would like to attend need to line up starting at 7 a.m. So that was 3 hours ago. No, it's not 7 in the morning yet out there, but they might be showing up now.
Right.
7 in the morning is about an hour from now. Outside the Van Nuys Courthouse West. 16 seats, that's it. 16 seats are available, and tickets will be handed out in a lottery between 7 a.m. and 8:15 a.m. on both days. So even if you show up, you can show up and get a ticket, but doesn't mean you're going to go.
It's not like you're the first 16 in line. It could go random throughout the line.
Everybody gets a ticket.
Yep.
The L.A. Superior Court says badges will be given to those selected. The badges must be worn at all times. Not transferable. You can't give it to me, Sue. And good only on the date that it's been issued. And so you got to turn them in afterwards. So it's quite the
event.
Three-ring circus out there. Did you see this the other day? The Boston Red Sox playing the Tampa Bay Rays, and Tampa Bay's stadium it got wrecked in a hurricane, so they're still rebuilding it. So they're playing at the New York Yankees Florida Coast League stadium, and it seats about 10,000 or so. So anyway, they're playing there, and somewhere in the third inning, bottom of the second inning, this high-pitched noise is there. Now, I'm sitting there, and I'm watching the game. I'm like, first thing I thought, I said, is there something wrong with my TV?
Right, right.
I go, and so I switched to another channel. Nope, that's everything fine. Back to the game. It's still happening. Okay, maybe something's going on with Nesson. Maybe something's wrong there. But then, it kind of went silent, and they're panning around to the crowd, and the crowd are all putting their fingers in their ears. Oh, something's happening there.
Wow.
So it's not me, and it's not my TV. Well, good for that.
Yeah.
And it was coming out of the PA system, and it was just a high pitch, ear splitting noise out of the speaker system, and it went on for about 40 seconds. It was so bad, the umpires stopped the game.
Wow.
We can't play whatever this is. It's got to stop.
Well, yeah, those high-pitched
it's so
things that they
distracting.
say,
Yeah.
that dogs can hear this or this, that kind of thing. But when it's to the point that the humans can hear it, that had to be really irritating.
And so it was in between innings, and the Rays were coming up to bat, and then it started. And so the ump said, okay, so hang on. What is this going on? It's the same thing as if who's ever running the music is still playing music. You can't have those kind of distractions while the game is playing. And so they said, wait a minute. But it went on for 40 seconds, and then it stopped. Got a nice round of applause that it stopped. But they never said why it started. And but it was weird.
Now, it wasn't that kind of pitch that something is too close to something. When
It sounded like that because that's what I initially thought. I go, sounds like something. It sounds like feedback.
Right.
But
Because
why
that'll
is that?
happen if I'm on the phone with you on the radio station, but I get too close to my radio or something like that.
But I'm like, it's not quite like that, but it's similar. But why is it happening?
Right.
And it just never found out, and then it just stopped.
Wow, that is weird.
So I don't know if someone lost their job or who's what's going on up there in that
pull in one of these
in the audio booth. Yeah, that's right. Hey, cut it out. That's the people are not liking it. But yeah, you saw people putting their fingers. It must have been even worse at the game.
Well,
that people were
doing
when
that. When a fire alarm goes off in your house, like it's it gets crazy. So I can only imagine 40 seconds of a consistent pitch, not even like an alarm that's beeping.
Nope, it was a consistent noise
right,
at this decibel level. It never wavered until it stopped.
Wow.
So I was like, wow,
that is weird.
It was just odd that it happened. Glad it only went 40 seconds. I said, what if this went on for minutes?
Right.
What do we do? Do we stop the game? Postpone because of noise?
I don't imagine
I don't know.
that.
Strange. All right. Fans of Mr. Beast are seeking refunds after being disappointed in his Las Vegas experience.
Mr. Who?
Beast. So this is the thing. Followers of the YouTube influencer, and I don't know why anybody thinks that you're following any influence, but that's just you. But followers of the YouTube influencer paid $1,000 a ticket for a 3-day event held this week at Resorts World Las Vegas called the, quote, Mr. Beast Experience. He's the influencer, I guess, unquote. Okay, it was billed as being immersive and unforgettable, and guests were told to wait in their rooms for a mystery bag to arrive. Some guests said they waited all day for their mystery bags, which contained a box of chocolates and merchandise already available to the public. So it's not a great goodie bag here. Mr. Beast has since emailed the guests and said they will all be fully refunded. So it's kind of a buyer beware.
Wow. Didn't that happen, though, something else in Vegas where they were touting this big event, not that long ago, like maybe even last year?
Yeah, it was some kind of musical event where they were going to have it one year and it got canceled, and the guy is trying to do it again, yet he has no permits to do what he's doing.
And your lodging is going to be,
and he's selling tickets to the thing.
Yes.
And said, who would do this? He ran the scam last time. Why would you? Why? And I can't remember that was supposed. Yeah. So all right. A mother in Queens, New York, is dead 2 weeks after she went under unlicensed cosmetic surgery that left her brain dead, and the doctor behind bars, if you can call it a doctor, I guess. She had to be removed from life support. She died after her March 28th butt implant removal at the Astoria home. So that's the problem. You got to go to a house. That's not where you want to go for your surgeries. Officials said she went into cardiac arrest from too much lidocaine furanda as an anesthetic. The mother of the two sons, she never woke up. The doctor, who was not licensed to perform the procedure, was arrested later that day at JFK Airport, trying to make a run for it. He's been charged with assault and practicing medicine without a license. Additional charges are now likely.
I was just going to say, now he's going to be charged with,
other things.
Yeah, definitely murder's not, like as Bob just explained, is different
Yeah,
levels.
and maybe a manslaughter charge,
Right.
kind of thing. So, all right, that'll do it for the show for today. We thank you very much for listening in. A reminder that the Do You Remember program will not be heard today. We're hoping Gary will make it back tomorrow with the rest of his crew. All right, thanks to Bob Lauder for being here, and Sue, thanks for being here as well.
Thank you. Have a good rest of the week.
All right, and a happy Easter to you.
You as well.
Thank
Happy
you.
Easter, everybody.
Have a great day, everyone, and stay tuned. We've got music coming your way right here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Kastner. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is calling autism a preventable disease. The Secretary of Health and Human Services on Wednesday refuted the CDC's past research showing autism has a genetic link and instead claimed it was a preventable disease caused by environmental exposure. NBC's Ann Thompson.
Dr. Zach Moore